Because in Nigeria, we don't say water, we say water. Don't get me wrong, like you can speak with your Nigerian or your African accent. And so with me here today, I have my results. I learn to explain things to people without telling them the answer, but making them think, okay? People are gonna rate you, like they're gonna rate you. They're gonna criticize your work. Maybe you're a horrible person. Let's not sugarcoat words. You are going to be fired. Then this job might not be for you. Hey everyone, how you all doing? I hope you all are doing fine. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for clicking. And if you're new here, my name is Aladi Akoh. Let's get right into the video. It's more of a story time because this is in the past. I'll also be sharing like the whole experience. I wouldn't say the whole experience, at least the ones I remember, like I will be sharing in this video. And if this is something you're interested in, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe, share, leave a comment. And if you have any experiences you want us to know about, like if you're currently a teaching assistant, put it in the comment section. Just write TA in the comment section and I'll know what you mean, okay? And if you're a research assistant, write RA, because at some point I was a research assistant as well. Anyway, let's get right into the story. So in 2018, I moved here and I got my teaching assistantship award before coming into the States. So I already knew I was going to be a TA, and they kind of gave me an idea of the courses I'll be teaching. And in this video, guys, I'm going to be pointing out some of the things I wish I had done differently, okay? So this is number one. Even as I'm telling the story, I'll be adding it in, they'll be coming hand in hand. So they told me, okay, you are going to be teaching either CSE 170 or CSE 150, something like that. The thing, if I were to go back to 2018 and change things, I would have reached out to the professors in charge, or probably just talk to the HOD or whomever I was communicating with at that point and tell them, please, can I see samples of this class, like, past questions, past labs and all that stuff, to kind of like just get familiar with it, maybe practice it, and just get familiar with it, okay? I shouldn't have waited till I arrived here and then trying to make all that work. No, I should have done that. So if you are a TA or you've been awarded a TA and you're still back home, please do this, okay? It will be very, very helpful. It will save you time. So one thing, when I got the position, at first I wasn't sure I was going to get it anyway. And when I got it, I started panicking. I was like, God, how am I going to do? Am I going to be a bad TA? Things start running through my mind, and I'm like, this is a different country. They have different culture, different people. Like, how is it going to be? that was the state of mind. And yeah, basically this is just me being honest. And then I came here, and there's some part of this story I probably won't share because I did not ask for permission, because they involve other people. So I'm probably not gonna put that part to respect their privacy. So the first semester, basically something happened, and I'm sorry I can't share, my hands are tied. So something happened and I couldn't do the TA job, okay? And what I did, basically, I was a TA technically, but I didn't do the TA work, like supervising the labs and all that stuff I was supposed to do. The things I did were just proctoring exams, like I was the departmental proctor. This is like what we call exam supervisor in Nigeria, somebody that supervises exam. So any exam that was going to happen in the CSE department, then it was called MCS, math and computer science. Now it's computer science and engineering. So then any exam happening in the math and the computer science department, I'm the one going to supervise it, like extra exams. These are like exams. There's a day, I think it's Thursday or something, every Thursday or every Tuesday, I don't know, but they have tests for students who missed the first, why am I calling it test? They had exams, tests, whatever, for students who basically missed the major ones. So they would, from different professors, they'll put them in a classroom. There's a test location where they do that. And see, I'm interchanging test and exam in this context, so please forgive me. So yeah, that exam is usually, is it 7 a.m. or 6 a.m.? I don't know, but so I'll have to be in school on time, you know, to supervise and then pick up the exams, give it to the students, administer it and all that stuff, and then pick them up and drop them in the mailbox of the professors. So basically that was what the proctoring entailed. Also, my second job function then was to, I was assigned to 2 professors to kind of grade for them. So I was a grader, a proctor and a grader. So yeah, that was what I was doing at that point. I did that for the whole of first semester, and the professor was like, well, by next semester, you're going to do that. You're going to do the actual thing you were supposed to do in the first semester. So yeah, I decided to like, okay, so what did I spend my break doing, my 2018 winter break? I spent it looking into the past questions, you know, past labs from the previous years. I kind of got talking to the professor who is in charge of the class I was going to be supervising and teaching, you know, the labs, obviously. And I mean, there were 2 kinds of labs. There was one course where the lab is the professor will be there and you will be there with the professor, like 2 of you will run the lab and the class together. And the other class, the other course, it was the professor will run the major class, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think, then the TAs will run the labs, basically. So I did both. I've done both, and I think having the professor around makes you kind of confident. You know, if you have issues, you can run to the professor, like, help me, you know. And then and sometimes you can get, you know, a bit intimidated with the professor's presence. I'm just telling you guys the good and the bad of both ways. You can get intimidated. Oh God, I don't know what is going on. You could feel some sort of, I don't know. But, and then you not having the professor around is like, okay, if there's any question, if there's anything, you got to handle it there and there. But there's some kind of like confidence you have, like, oh, I'm the one in charge. Like, I'm the boss here, okay? If that makes any sense. And then you don't feel like someone is judging you unconsciously. I mean, technically the professors, I don't think they're judging you, but it's just a feeling like, okay, maybe they are judging you, I'm not doing my job right, and all that kind of stuff. So both of them, they're good and they're bad in their own way. So I don't know which one I would choose. I think I'm comfortable working in any of that, like that situations, having the professor around or not having the professor around. I think I'll be fine. And progressing, so spring 2019, that was the first time I actually was in the lab and, you know, doing my duties as a teaching assistant. And I had the first style, which is having the professor around. So that was how it started. And at the end of the semester, there was a survey. See, if you don't have the mind or like the maturity, or I don't know what to call it, to take criticism, then this job might not be for you, because these things can take a blow on your self-esteem if not careful, because people are going to write. I mean, that is why it's a survey. So at the end of the semester, the points that I'm trying to get to is that at the end of the semester, there was a survey conducted by the professor, an anonymous survey conducted. So this is the time the students that you taught are going to bear their hearts out. So with me here today, I have my results, like the first survey and the result. Like, they sent me a digital copy for some reason. I like the paper copy, and people are going to rate you. Like, they're going to rate you. They're going to criticize your work. They're going to, you know, share with you the good and the bad. So it's something you have to be prepared for. And this is a part of the job. Like, at the end of the day, when they do all this survey, the professor is going to read through them with you and go through everything and just tell you, give you feedback. And if the result is terrible, like maybe you're a horrible person, let's not sugarcoat words, you are going to be fired. Okay, you are going to be fired, because I like that for me, and I like that for the students, because I wouldn't say I like that I like that for the students. Like, I like that because it's not going to be fair if we have someone that's not doing their job properly. The person is horrible, maybe they're not kind, they're just doing anyhow. Basically, they're going to be fired. Yeah, because I don't want a nasty person being my TA as well. I want someone that I'm open with, comfortable with, to share with. So yeah, I got my results, and let me say there was really one horrible review. I wouldn't say horrible, but that was how the person felt. So I can't say anything. I mean, it was sad to see that. So I probably should say there was one sad review. Yeah, that's the right word. So it was sad to read as a TA, and I was, my professor and I went through them, and so they have this. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a sample of what they asked. Like, I'm just going to say it. They were like 10 questions, and there's like, on the scale of 5, you're going to rate. For the first 7 questions, it's like rating. You rate your TA on a scale of 5. And then the last 3 questions are where the students can actually write. So the first one is, my TA was prepared for the class. So if you agree, you would choose strongly agree, somewhat agree, neither agree nor disagree, somewhat disagree, and strongly disagree. So that's how it goes. Okay, 1 being strongly disagree, somewhat disagree, 2, and so on and so forth. So the second one is, my TA was helpful in debugging lab projects. So computer science people, pay attention. My TA helped, number 3, my TA helped me to understand concepts that I was stuck on during lab. Number 4 is, I was able to clearly understand and communicate with my TA. Number 5, my TA was prepared for office sections. So office sections are like the office hours where students, you have like maybe 2 or 3 hours per week, maybe 1 hour each day. It depends on how you put it, depending on the other TAs and everything. You just spread it out. Technically, something you can walk around. It's not a hard or fast rule or something like that. Anyway, so they come to you with the problems they have, and then you help them. You don't give them the answers technically. You just make them think about the answers and produce the answers by themselves, because giving them the answers, it's not allowed. That is totally wrong. You're not going to be there on the exam day to give them the answers. So you just want to point them towards the answers, but not. I don't know how to explain it, but if you're a TA, you probably know what I'm saying. And if you're an upcoming TA, please, work on that, okay? Learn to explain things to people without telling them the answer, but making them think, okay? So where did I stop? The 6th one is, my TA was helpful in debugging program assignments. So we give the students programming assignments, and, were you helpful to help them debug the problems they had or something like that? And the 7th one is, my TA helped me to understand concepts that I was stuck on while writing program assignments. And then the last 3 questions are the one where the students can actually use their pen and write. So the 8th one is, my TA's greatest strength is. And then the 9th one is, my TA's greatest weakness is. And then number 10 is additional comments. So this gives the students to say what they have in mind. So one thing with this whole survey results, it made me better. It made me see where students were actually having problems with. I don't know how to say, like, it made me understand, certain areas where I needed to work on, where I needed to improve, and, all that stuff. So for me, the sad comments where I talked about, so I'm just going to share that one. The one student who was really, really not impressed or very sad and not happy with my mode of delivery, he said, my TA's greatest strength is, this is sad anyway, getting mad at me because I had a hard time understanding her. Oh my God, like, if you know me, like, why should I get mad at you for not understanding me? Like, why? So it's sad. It's sad, but this is how they felt at that time. And then the greatest weakness, the person wrote, she yelled at me a lot. Oh my God, like, I don't yell at my students, but I don't know. I know you can't please everyone. So just know that some of the comments might sound too extreme for you, but let's say if at least 2 or 3 people said this exact same thing, then I'll be like, okay, Aladi, you have to look into this more. But it was just one person out of a good number of students. I'm like, well, I'm sorry that you felt this way, but I'm sorry. You probably should have just told me, or, if that was how you were feeling, you could have just called me out or something, and not wait till the end of the semester and then feeling this way in my class. And then the the last thing the person wrote, additional comments, the person wrote, made me sad a lot, and they put like a sad face. I'm like, oh dear, I'm sorry, like it wasn't my intentions. The rest, they're really good, and I like the fact that they all called me out on things that they thought I wasn't doing well, things that I wasn't actually doing well, I should say that. So I think for me, this survey was done less than a year that I was in the US, and I think the major complaint where I saw like a good number of students complained about communication. Like some of them were kind enough to say, oh, like I think you know, I couldn't understand how she spoke, you know, and somebody was really kind enough to write, oh, I can't, I mean, not just somebody, a good number of them also like put in like parentheses, and they were like, well, she's from a different country, that explains it. So, you know, and some are like, oh, maybe it's the accent. So I think at that point, my accent and the way I was pronouncing things were much more different than it is now. I was pronouncing words wrongly. So don't get me wrong, like you can speak with your Nigerian or your African accent and still pronounce words the right way. You don't necessarily have to do sorcerer. If you like do sorcerer and you're not pronouncing those words correctly, then you're just making a mess. Okay, so and over the years, the way I pronounce, I mean, YouTube as well has helped, because there are sometimes I pronounce words and you guys in the comment section will correct me and say, no, it's not like that. Like the time I used to say mask, you know, this one they used to put on the face mask. I would say mask. And then somebody put it in one of my comments. I can't remember. There was one video I made and the person was like, Aladi mask. And I didn't know I was pronouncing mask as a mask until someone called me out. So YouTube has also helped me. Like you guys have helped me grow, like my students, you know, relating with my students, that has helped my communication over the years. So these days I am able to pronounce words the way they should be. And as another thing is also like cultural, like because in Nigeria we don't say water, we say water. So even though technically water is right, but here if you say water, it's like, so it's a mix of like whether you're pronouncing these words correctly, your accent, the culture, and all that stuff. And you know, in Nigeria we speak British English, and here it's like the American English. So there are a lot of factors in it. And yeah, I really had good results. This one said intelligent, knows her stuff when it comes to coding. This person said vocals, that's my weakness. She had a hard time expressing the points she was trying to get across. The person I put in parentheses, her being from a different country explains this. So this is like what I'm saying. So some people were just kind enough to acknowledge that, oh, she's from a different country and that's why she doesn't talk like us, or she doesn't speak like us, and has a hard time giving. So it's just like people were just this person were very smart with coding. Oh, that's nice. Has a hard time saying it. This one even put like a smiley and all that. She's awesome. And I think a good number of them said she's kind, she's nice, she's generous, like when it comes to like my greatest strength. So my greatest weakness was communication. At least majority of them said that. And then my greatest strength is like I'm nice, I'm kind and generous. You see, this person wrote miscommunication with blah blah. This one says she's awesome. Sometimes it's hard to follow her because of her accent, but I'm not sure if that is a weakness. Thank you. This person said being kind, greatest weakness is communication. So this one said always comes with a good attitude. She has a hard time explaining very quickly, seeing what was wrong with my lab programs, you know. So yeah, understanding the problem, like they're really knowledge, but oh my god, like there are a lot of them here, so I can't go through them all. But what I'm saying is that be ready for the blow. Like don't think those things define you. Just don't feel like they're attacking you. I would say just learn from all these things that they've said about you. Look at how you could put them into work, you know. And then some students were really kind. Before this survey, like even before this survey, they went to the professor behind my back and they told her really nice things about me. They were like, oh my god, we love her, like she's doing so good, blah blah blah. And then my professor called me and was like, oh, I heard really good reviews about you, like the students love you, they love you, like they like you. It was really heartwarming, like it was really nice. And then I had this time when my HOD called me and he was like, I heard from your professor that the students love you like you. Guys, my main camera got heated up, like the internal whatever, and I don't want to wait for that, so the audio quality is going to decrease because apparently this camera I'm using right now does not have microphone, like external microphone. So I'm wearing this. Yeah, this was for the main camera. Okay, moving on. After the survey, the professors, obviously they were impressed, and I got to keep my job. And I was kind of worried, like, what is going to be the result of the survey, blah blah blah. But to God be the glory, I got to keep my job. I started improving on the things that the students complained about, and, you know, try to get myself to a better person. And then the next semester, which for 2019, I became a TA, a standalone TA. I think, did we have our, I don't know whether it was 2 TAs to 1 class, but there was a point where we were like 2 TAs in a particular class, and then there was a time where it was solo, like only 1 TA to a class. I did all of them, but I can't remember in what order now. So there was a time I had help if it was a very large class, like there was help, and then for the times where the class were like smaller, then it was just 1 TA, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I progressed, you know, I was doing my job, became more comfortable, you know, grew better, and, you know, I made friends with the students. Some of them would come to me, chit chat, especially, you know, the thing with computer science, there are not a lot of females, and you being a female, you know, and then if, let's say you're a female TA, and then your student, the female ones, they tend to kind of like, you know, like you kind of, in the sense that, oh, I'm inspired, like, you're a girl, you're doing this. Like, sometimes it could be discouraging where you come to like maybe a class of 50 students and you're they're just like 2 girls or 3 girls. So them seeing me like as a female TA, I feel like that was the connection, and they were like, some of them were really inspired and they kind of liked me, and we got along, made friends with them, you know, encouraged them. There was literally one student that, not even one, there were like 2. I remember the first day they came, they got the homework, they did not know what they were doing. Like, it was so overwhelming for them because this is like the first programming class they're ever taking in their life or something like that. And I could feel how the girl was feeling, because I was like, I've been in that situation where I did not know what I was doing, like in the programming class, and I could relate. So I told her, calm down, we're going to do this, I'm going to hold your hand through it all. Like, I told her not to ever rush things. So whenever she came, I think one of my best approach for like teaching people programming is I tell them, and this is something I've also learned from other people, do not try to jump into programming right away. Do not try to write the code right away. Do not do that. First thing you have to do is try to solve the problem by hand. Try to understand that, oh, this is what they asked. Okay, let's say the question is, what is 2 plus 2? Have you tried to calculate 2 by 2 with your pencil and paper? Like, have you tried that? Because if you don't know that, like, you don't have an idea how you can do that in real life, how are you going to program that? So I think it made a lot of their lives easier, and me in particular, because I had learned that, and it stuck with me. So I try to tell them that, because you're writing, you don't know what you're writing. Like, do you even know the answer of this thing? So it's like, that's how to take the baby steps. So I made her do it that way, and she's like, every problem she has, like every programming problem, yeah, she would try to do it by hand first, like try to do all the math, because she was good in math, and she would do it by. I was really impressed that at the end of the semester, one of them I think got an A and the other one got a B in the class. I'm like, oh my god, I feel so proud, like proud moment. So guys, all I'm saying is that you could also build connections with your students, you know, we're all humans, you know, try to show them the human part of you. Don't try to, like, I mean, respect boundaries for sure, but I don't know how to explain myself, okay, if that makes any sense. So do not be too scared, like they are humans like you, okay? And if you're doing the right thing, make sure you're not yelling at your students, make sure you're not being hostile, make sure you're approachable, be humble, you know, just be open. And at some point I was a research assistant, and, you know, basically to do research for a professor. And in computer science, most of our research is going to still involve coding. So I was coding most of the time. Researching and coding were going hand in hand at that point. Those of you who will be starting your journey as a TA, I wish you the best. Try to be cool, be calm, be confident, okay? And you will do your best, okay? You will do your best, because if you put your mind to it, you are going to do it, trust me. Keep an open mind. Don't think the students are out there to attack you. Sometimes you might feel intimidated because maybe you're black, they are white, or whatever it is. I don't know what country you're coming from, but if you're from Africa, most likely you're like, especially West Africa, let me be specific, you're going to be like dark skinned, and you might want to say, oh God, you might start trying to feel a certain way, but please do not feel like that. Knowledge has no skin color, okay? Anybody can do anything that they put their mind to. So I would say be more confident. You're gonna grow into it, because when I first came, I didn't really know what I was doing, kind of. So I took the time to learn. Like the winter break was a very good time for me to learn, go over past questions. So like I said, try to go over past questions and all that. Guys, if you want me to share more about my experience as a teaching assistant, let me know in the comment section. And if you loved today's video, or if you liked today's video, don't forget to like it. Actually hit the like button, okay, and leave a comment in the comment section, okay? And I'll see you in my next video. I remain your host, Aladi Akoh. I love you. Bye.